Hi friends, welcome to my channel if you're new here. Welcome back if you're a returning subscriber. My name is Brittany. On this channel I share my stupid opinions about the books I've been reading, and today I'm just gonna rapid fire books at you that I read in March. If you are interested in hearing my thorough and full review on any of the books that are here, if I have a review for it, it will be linked down below. We're gonna start this video with the single book that I DNF'd this month, which was Tammy Hoag's Guiltiest Sin. I made it to page 37 before I gave up on this book. I know I said when I pulled this book from my TBR jar, I've read her and I like her, but what I'm thinking is that I mixed up her with Sherry LaPena, and I don't know how that happened. I think it's because the size of the book. I have another Sherry LaPena book that is this size and general shape. I did not get on with this book. I think that the problem was that it would be like the DA, whatever her name was, and then it went into a full paragraph description of what she looked like and what she did, and I'm gonna be unhauling Tammy Hoag from my library because this one and we just didn't get along. You know what? There's no rhyme or reason to this. We're not gonna build to 5-star reviews. I'm just gonna go through the books that as they're listed in my CAWPILE spreadsheet behind you. I read From Below by Darcy Coates and ended up liking it quite a lot. I will be reading more from Darcy Coates in the future. This was a 4.25. It's about a documentary team who goes and explores a shipwreck. It was very interesting and could have been shorter, but overall very good time. Like I said, 4.25. I read The Last Love Note by Emma Gray, which is about a woman who loses her husband at a very young age and is dealing with grief while trying to cope with the idea that she could possibly fall in love again. This book ripped my heart out. I gave it 4.5, and like I said, reviews for stuff will be down below. I took the leap and read a Leanne Moriarty book. The book that I chose this month was Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. It is a domestic about kindergarten moms gone wild, basically. It sounded like it would be right up my alley. Unfortunately, it was not. I gave it 3.75 stars and moved on to something else. We had a YA book this month, which was Come Find Me by Megan Miranda. It's about two teens who hear this mysterious frequency on various transmitters that they're both working with to solve their own particular mystery. They end up linking up with each other and falling in love, and it's very much not a YA mystery that I would be reaching for again. In fact, I am thinking that I'm not going to read any more Megan Miranda after this. It was a 3.5 star for me and is linked in my Pango shop. I dived in to a little bit of Lisa Jewell's backlog with The Third Wife, which follows Adrian after his third wife, Maya, mysteriously dies. Very much an intro to the mystery genre, in my opinion. It is not as slashery as a lot of the thrillers that I typically reach for. Very good writing, as I have come to expect from Lisa Jewell. This book was a 4.5 star for me. And we're moving on to potentially the worst book that I read this month, besides the DNF. It was Just Me by Blake Pierce, which is Cammie Lark FBI #1. I got it for free from a BookBub deal. It is about a woman, Cammie Lark, who hacks the FBI and then is offered a job working for them. And she is helping solve the serial unaliver crimes that are going on in Boston. It was a 1 star and I moved on to something else. We have another book from an author that I've not read. I kicked the month off reading Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. I'm still thinking about this book. It is a historical fiction about a woman named Magdalena and Nestor who fall in love with each other when they're children and then are parted for 10 years because Nestor thinks that Magdalena is killed by vampires outside of the ranch that her family owns. I really loved this book. It was so well written. I just couldn't stop. And if you have the opportunity, listen to the audiobook. It's very very good. It was a 4.5 star read for me. For my I Read 3 series, this month I picked up some hockey romances. The books in question were Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer, Famous Last Words by C.W. Farnsworth, and Just Don't Fall by Emma St. Clair. Each were hockey romances in their own right. 2 of them are extremely explicit, and one of them is more of a sweet rom-com type read. I gave Behind the Net 4.25 stars. I gave Famous Last Words 4.25 stars, and I gave Just Don't Fall 3.75 stars. So overall, it was a very good month for my I Read 3 series. I read 5 Total Strangers by Natalie D. Richards, which is a YA thriller following 5 young adults as they traverse the Pennsylvania mountains after all flights are grounded, leaving no option if they want to get home for Christmas. It was a very fast-paced and fun thriller that I ended up giving 4 stars to. I read Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, which is book 2 in the When in Rome series. We are following Will and Annie. Will's a bodyguard, Annie's the flower shop lady. I discovered that Will is my new favorite man written by a woman this month. Practice Makes Perfect was so fun, kicking my feet, giggling. I loved it. It was a 4.75 star read for me for romance. I read Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, which is an adult thriller debut by the author. It's about a woman who may or may not have unalived her best friend and the podcast set to solve who did it. It was a 3.5 star read for me. Not exactly my cup of tea, but it is what it is. And last but not least, this month I read Book of the Year, Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. And this book is about 2 doctors who work in the same emergency room and end up falling in love. This book was easily the easiest 5-star read I think I've ever had. I cried like a freaking baby reading this book. I laughed, and I found a new favorite romance author in Abby Jimenez. So let's run through my monthly stats, shall we? This month I read 16 books. I read 5,402 pages, only DNF'd 1 book. Started 4 different book series this month and will hopefully continue on in some of these series. My average rating for the month was 3.78, which is the highest that it's been this year. I had a lot of over 4-star reads, and even that 1 star and 1 DNF didn't tank my score. My camera battery is flashing, so all links for individual reviews and my I Read 3 are down below if you are interested in seeing any full-on CAWPILE reviews for any of the books that I've talked about. Thank you all so much for being here. If you like the video, please feel free to like. If you're new here, subscribe to my channel. It's free for you. It's fun for me. And with all of that, I will see you so soon. Bye.